The rain hammered against the plate glass window of Corner Haven Café like fists pounding on a door, relentless and unforgiving. Elena Ramirez froze mid-wipe, the rag dangling from her hand as she cleaned the counter. Outside, a woman's silhouette shifted, soaked through, her coat pulled tight, but not tight enough to hide the bruise blooming across her cheek. The clock on the wall read 9:07 p.m., and the neon open sign had long been flipped to closed. Elena's pulse quickened, that familiar drumbeat in her chest, but she didn't move. The woman knocked again, softer this time, her eyes pleading through the streaks of water running down the glass. Elena set the rag down, her fingers trembling just enough to notice, and unlocked the door. "Come in," Elena said, her voice steady even as her throat tightened. The woman stepped inside, bringing the chill of the Ohio night with her, puddles forming at her feet on the worn linoleum floor. She was young, maybe mid-20s, with matted blonde hair and a backpack slung over one shoulder like it held everything she owned. "I'm sorry," the woman whispered, glancing over her shoulder at the empty street. "I saw the light on. I didn't know where else to go." Elena nodded, locking the door behind her. She didn't ask questions, not yet. Instead, she moved to the counter, the scent of cooling coffee grounds mixing with the faint tang of lemon cleaner. "Sit down. I'll get you something hot." The cafe was small, tucked into a strip mall in Milford, a town where factories had closed and dreams rusted away. Booths lined one wall, mismatched chairs around wooden tables, and in the corner, a corkboard labeled "Stories of Strength." Scraps of paper pinned there, anonymous confessions scrawled in marker. The woman slid into a booth, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. Elena poured a mug of decaf, black, and set it down with a packet of sugar. "I'm Elena. This place is safe. You can stay as long as you need." "Jamie," the woman said, her voice cracking. She tore open the sugar packet, spilling half of it on the table. He followed me from work. I just ran." Elena sat across from her, the booth's vinyl creaking under her weight. She recognized that look, the hollow eyes, the shoulders hunched as if bracing for a blow. It was the same look she'd worn 3 years ago, fleeing Chicago with nothing but a duffel bag and a restraining order that felt like paper armor. But she didn't say that. Not yet. The rain eased to a drizzle as Jamie sipped her coffee, steam curling up like unspoken words. Elena busied herself wiping the already spotless counter, her mind racing. Why tonight? Why her cafe? It had started as a desperate idea. A rundown space bought with divorce settlement money, turned into more than just coffee and pastries. A haven, she'd thought privately, where people could sit without being judged. The corkboard had been an impulse, born from a therapy session where her counselor said, "Strength isn't always loud, Elena. Sometimes it's just surviving the day." Now those survivals covered the board. "I left after 10 years. You can too. One day at a time. I'm still here." Jamie glanced at it, her eyes lingering. "What's all that?" "People share," Elena said simply. "If they want to." Jamie nodded but didn't move. They sat in silence, the refrigerators hummed the only sound, until Jamie's phone buzzed on the table. She flinched, silencing it without looking. "That's him." Elena's stomach twisted. "You got somewhere safe to go?" "My sister's in Cleveland. But it's 2 hours away in my car." He took the keys. Elena thought of her own sister, Maria, who lived across town in a neat ranch house with her husband and kids. Maria, who still handled Elena like she might shatter. She pushed the thought away. "I can drive you. Or call someone." Jamie shook her head. "No cops. Not yet." Elena understood. She'd said the same once. She stood, grabbing her keys from the hook behind the counter. "Let's get you out of here." They stepped into the night, streetlights casting long shadows on wet pavement. Elena felt the old fear stir, like a scar itching beneath her skin. But she walked Jamie to her old Ford pickup, the engine rumbling to life, and drove her to the bus station on the edge of town. Jamie hugged her quickly before vanishing into the terminal, a ghost under fluorescent lights. Back at the cafe, Elena locked up again, hands steadier now. She pinned a fresh blank slip to the board, wondering if Jamie would ever return to fill it. The rain had stopped, leaving the air thick with wet asphalt. She turned off the lights, darkness swallowing the room, and headed upstairs to her apartment. Sleep came in fragments, dreams echoing with old shouts and breaking glass. Morning brought routine. Coffee grinder at 5 a.m., bacon sizzling, the door chime as regulars arrived. Milford was quiet, brick buildings downtown. A Walmart on the outskirts, endless cornfields turning gold in fall. People worked at the auto plant or commuted to Dayton, lives measured in paychecks and small defeats. Elena had chosen it for the anonymity, far from Chicago's crowded streets where she'd grown up, married too young and learned love could cut deep. First customer was Tom Harlan, retired mechanic with a Vietnam limp and a love for black coffee and the sports section. Morning, Elena. Smells like home in here. She smiled, pouring his mug. Usual, Tom? You bet. He settled at the counter, newspaper unfolding. Elena liked Tom, gruff, kind, the type who fixed neighbors' cars for free. He'd been one of the first on the board. Lost my leg in Nam but made it home. Next came Sarah Wilkins, high school teacher with tired eyes and papers to grade. Latte and blueberry muffin, talk of school board fights. These kids break your heart and put it back together, Elena. Elena nodded, steaming milk. She envied Sarah's easy words, her open connections. Elena's own stayed guarded, a habit from hiding bruises under sleeves. By noon, lunch rush. Factory workers in overalls, moms with strollers, the occasional banker. Elena moved between them, refills and plates, silverware clinking like comfort. But her mind drifted to Jamie, to that bruise. Had she made it? Maria arrived around 2 p.m. Scrubs wrinkled from the hospital shift. Older by 2 years, same dark hair, sharper features, always the protector. Hey sis. Got time? Elena wiped her hands. For you always. Coffee. Decaf. Watching the ticker. Maria slid onto a stool, scanning the room. Busy today? Steady. Elena added cream just right. Silence settled, comfortable from shared blood and buried history. Maria stirred. Mom called. Thanksgiving. Elena tensed. Mom's still in Chicago, old apartment thick with ghosts. Not sure. Come on, Lena. 3 years. You can't hide forever. I'm not hiding. I'm building. Elena gestured to the cafe, the growing board. One new note. I spoke up today. First time in years. Maria glanced over. That board's something. Starting a movement. Elena laughed, hollow. Just space. Maria softened. Proud of you. But you work too hard. Last date. Not interested. Liar. What about Tuesday, beard guy? Mark? Just a customer. Mark Ellis, carpenter, turkey sandwich regular. Generous tips. Kind denim blue eyes, rough hands. Last week he'd lingered. Stories, huh? Got one, but it's ugly. Maria leaned in. You deserve good, Lena. After. Don't. The name unspoken, Victor. Ex-husband, promises turn to pain. Divorce messy, restraining order thin. Last heard, prison for a bar fight. Gone. Maria sighed. Fine. But Thanksgiving. Elena nodded vaguely. As Maria left, waving to Tom, concern lingered like perfume. Afternoon slowed, sky-threatening snow. Elena restocked pastries, buttery scents rising. New face at 4 p.m. Man in his 40s, leather jacket, cigarette smell. Scan menu, then room, eyes on Elena. Coffee black. She poured. $2. Cash no tip. Corner booth, watching the door. Something prickled her skin, tension in his shoulders. Paranoia, she told herself. Milford was safe. He left after an hour, mug half full. Under it a scrap. You think you're safe? He's out. Breath caught. Victor. Released. Room tilted, cafe hum fading to roar. She crumpled the note, pocketed it, smiled for the next customer. Inside, the scar tore open. That night, upstairs apartment sparse. Unmade bed, unread books. Phone hovered over Maria's number. Instead, parole office. Confirmed. Victor Ramirez, out 2 weeks, good behavior. Address unknown. Pace creaking floors. How? Why Milford? Café, her proof of rebuilding. Doubt shadowed. Next morning, snow dusting streets. Elena opened early, routine soothing. Tom first, boot stomping. Nasty out. Heard about hardware break-in. No. Bad. Vandalism. He eyed her. You all right? Ghost white. Tired. Turned away, espresso hissing. Market usual time snow and beard. Turkey on rye. And your soup wreck. Vegetable barley. Warms you. He nodded. As she served bored glance. Inspiring. One today. Forgave myself. Hits. Yeah. Lingered wiping nothing. Yeah. Wife gone to cancer 2 years. Blamed myself. Sorry. Life goes. Your choice. Spark flickered. But note burned in pocket. Jamie returned afternoon bruise yellowed. Same booth latte. Made it to sisters. Thanks. Elena sat in lull. Good. Jamie pulled paper. For the board. One step forward, even if it hurts. Pinned it. Elena's chest swelled, pride, envy. Sharing heart for her. Story locked. Stranger returned, smirk. Coffee. Hand shook pouring. Who are you? Friend of a friend. Victor says hi. World narrowed. Mug slammed, coffee sloshing. Out. Chuckle unpaid exit. Elena locked early, gasping. Called Maria, breaking. He's out. Knows I'm here. Maria arrived fast, bundled her home. Stay tonight. Maria's house warm, sauce simmering, kids laughing. Over dinner, confession. Hug. Together. Always. Guest bed, ceiling stare. Run again. No. Café hers. Twist next day. Prepping open, knock. Peered Victor, older. Gaunt. Unmistakable. Heart hammered. Phone to 911, hesitated. He stood, hands pocketed, snow falling. Elena. Please. Talk. Chain on door cracked. 5 minutes. Then cops. Nodded, eyes down. Sober. Therapy. Can't fix but sorry. Dreamed words hollow now. Why here? See if okay. Heard about Café. From your mom. Betrayal. Mom hoping reunion. Leave. Don't return. Turn slumped into whiteout. Confrontation shattered walls. Not fear barrier. Evening quiet café, Elena wrote. I survived. And I'll keep surviving. Pin tears blurring. Word spread. Regulars noticed, added whispers. Tom. Proud kid. Sarah flowers. Mark lingered. Guts. Maybe. Met eyes. Coffee sometime? Not customer. Smile. I'd like that. Spring slow, snow to mud to green. Café thrived, board tapestry. Hired Jamie part-time, laughter filling. Maria visited lighter. Warm May evening, Elena outside. Mug in hand, sunset over fields. Inside, stories shared, voices waving. Sipped coffee, bitterness softened, quiet strengthened bones. Not perfect, scarred, but hers. Horizon orange, tomorrow promised.